Hello, Mr. Yakima, and we're going to do a lot of trails on this episode. I'm up at the top of Chinook Pass, the trailhead that, well, you've got so many trails to choose from. We've done Sheep Lake before, and we're going to do that again. But we're going to bust through that, go up to Sourdough Gap and over to Crystal Lake. And it's about 110 degrees in Yakima. We're in the middle of July. It's about 20 degrees cooler with a light breeze. So if you come up here, be prepared. Have some bug repellent. Mosquitoes like it up here. Make sure you got some suntan lotion. I've probably got white face on me right now. And bring your dogs along. I've got Duke and Caesar with me, and we're just going to have a great time and look at some of the most beautiful hikes in America, all right here in Yakima. So let's get rolling. Okay, Duke and Caesar leading the way. We've spent about 45 minutes, covered just about 2 miles, and now we get our first reward, Sheep Lake. Perhaps, at least to my mind, one of the most beautiful alpine lakes in the Northwest. It's just gorgeous. Can't say enough about it. We're gonna get a drink and then follow the Pacific Crest Trail up to the top there where Sourdough Peak is, and we'll report back in. But I see 2 people who want to get a refreshment station stop. So we'll see you back on the trail. We made it after about 3 miles total to Sourdough Gap, which you have to admit, that's a pretty cool name. Right back here, about a mile hike away, that's Sheep Lake where we were. And now we're gonna continue on to another lake, Crystal Lake. It's a lot different terrain here. And that breeze is feeling good. And we're gonna meander down there, and the dogs are gonna love the snow. So, off we go. So the trail, this time of year, the flowers are all starting to bloom. They're going to explode any day here, but it is just a day sent from heaven. The blue sky, all the different colors of green, a little bit of snow melt, and the most beautiful mountain range in the world, the Cascades. We have arrived to Upper Crystal Lake. Made it in less than 2 hours. Gorgeous day. Probably run into about 20 other very intelligent, smart, healthy people. And yeah, wow, how excellent is this? It is just spectacular. It's about, I'd say, about 1,300 feet from where we started, so it's not the most difficult thing, but you know, if you get a chance to come up here, I mean, we are just surrounded by the most beautiful area, I think, in the country, and it's all right here in good old Yakima County. Okay, Crystal hike is done. It's about, I don't know, less than 4.5 hours. Went about 8 miles, a little over 8 miles. It's about 1,900 feet elevation gain. Burned a lot of calories, had a lot of fun, and the best thing, it is just so beautiful. It's indescribable up there. So now I'm going to take a break, ride some horses, and then do some more hikes. I would be remiss, and I hate being remiss, if I did not mention an oasis that's not a lake, and that would be Whistling Jack's Lodge. It's about 40 miles outside of Yakima. It's been here since, I don't know, Lewis and Clark. It's been here a long time. In the winter, this is the snowmobile hangout. You can take off from here and go all the way up to Cle Elum and such. But in the summer, there's no better place to stop by and have a refreshing adult beverage after burning off a few thousand calories. So anyway, here's to the Cascades, here's to living in Yakima, and here's to one of the really great places in Yakima, Whistling Jack's Lodge. Okay, it's adventure time in the great wide open known as Yakima County. I'm with, that's Maverick, We call him Rick, and we got Snickers next to him back here. And we're gonna do a ride to a secret location, get some hikes in, and just make a great day here in the Cascades. So let's get riding. Howdy. I'm up in the mountains and I'm with Snickers right now. We have come up Chinook Pass. We're way up in the mountains, and in the middle of nowhere, I found Lori and Rick Maverick. And so we're trying to chart a course. We've got a lot of ripped down trees around us, and we're trying to find a secret lake that literally no one has ever been at ever in the history of climbing the Cascades. So we're going to be there soon, and maybe even do a little fishing. So as we come up here to a lake where no one has ever been, I guess I was wrong. We met some people that are originally from New Zealand. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. You don't have any guns to shoot off, do you? Okay, just don't point them at me. And we made it to Paradise Lake. And I think we're going to try to get a fish. We got Jim here. I don't need to be on your video. No, I'm just getting you from behind. There's a fish. These are beautiful fish. Let me see these. One cast and we caught a fish. Look at this. Nice. Well, that took almost 30 seconds. This is like in Alaska. You catch on every cast. That is something. Look at this little place here. You know, the Cascades are just dotted with these little lakes. And yeah, how gorgeous. Nice. Okay, we're on some switchbacks here. We're rotating on and off. It's just so beautiful up here. That little white spot through there is Mount Rainier. And yeah, it's just surprise. It's summertime and we have blue sky. It's just a spectacular day. We're getting our vitamin D. We caught a bunch of fish. We caught and released. We were good. And now we're heading back down towards the river. We've been talking about a lot of hikes here, and some of them are, you know, pretty long. But if you want to take a nice, easy hike, about an hour outside of town is Lake Tipsoo. We're at the top of Chinook Pass on one of the most easily accessible trails in the state, probably, let alone Yakima County. It is just gorgeous up here. If you've got small children, you know, you don't want to go way in the back, or if you're retired and you don't want to take a strenuous hike, this is the place to come. And I mean, the lake is gorgeous. It is one of the true gems. And we're only, like I say, an hour outside of Yakima. So get up here, come get your vitamin D, pack some goodies, and you'll have the time of your life. So if you've been watching Yakima is Cool, you know Mr. Yakima loves White Pass. And no, we are not skiing today, but we are going to go up to the far backside on chair number 6. We're taking Duke and Caesar and my son, who is home from Phoenix. Yes, I have too many children, but we're gonna head up and get to, I don't know, I think it's about 6,500 feet, and it's gonna be a fun hike. So let's roll. Okay, been hiking this place and this area for, oh, the better part of 20 years with my kids. It's clouded up. It's supposed to thunderstorm later, but it's so still. I think every mosquito in the mountains has descended on us. We are not gonna make it to the top, but that's what happens when you're hiking. Sometimes you have to adapt. And this is, trust me, it is brutal. The dogs are not upset that we had to cut the hike short. We got about 4 miles round trip as opposed to about 8 miles. And that's okay. My dogs are happy. I'm gonna go jump in a pool or something and hopefully not itch all night long. But yeah, that happens up here. It's absolutely, no kidding, the worst I've ever seen it. So always spray yourself with bug spray. Bring bug spray. Long sleeve shirts and things like that. But sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it. That's the way it goes. Mr. Yakima here, and I am actually not in Yakima County. If you look at the horizon, you can see Yakima County. And one of the few uncool things about Yakima County is we get forest fires, and we have a bad one up on White Pass. So we decided to come up to Paradise, Sunrise on Chinook Pass side to Mount Rainier. And we have some blue skies and unusually cool for late July. It's in the 60s, so that's kind of strange, but man, there is nowhere prettier in all of Washington. It's the iconic thing of Washington. It's Mount Rainier, and we've just had a great day up here. Hardly anyone up here, and we'll be heading back to the smoke. But yeah, if you get a chance, make a trip to either the Sunrise or the Paradise of Mount Rainier. You will love it. It's a gem. Okay, today's hike is not what I was expecting to take, but due to fires, and that happens, you get a lot of smoke. White Pass is closed for about 2 weeks. I'm now on Chinook Pass in the Wenatchee Forest, just about 51 miles from downtown Yakima. We have some of the coolest names up here in the Cascades here in Yakima County. I'm at Hell's Crossing, and we're right next to the American River. So there's a hike along the American River. Had to postpone some of the hikes I wanted to get on this, like Mount Aches and Surprise Lake, but we'll get those a little bit later. But as for today, we'll just adapt. I've got my buddies, Duke and Caesar. They super excited, and we're just going to go along one of the prettiest trails along one of the prettiest rivers in all of America. So let's go. So we're only about a quarter mile in on the Pleasant Valley Trail here, and just so you know, yeah, you can do this in tennis shoes and so forth. You don't need poles or anything. Get a lot of growth through here. But when you look up here, you can see some of these old growth trees. Kind of eerie with the smoke up there. But yeah, you've had some slides through here, so only the largest and the strongest survive. It's usually much more dense than this area right here, but yeah, it's a beautiful trail, so you're gonna have to do it. So one thing you'll notice if you're on this trail is the number of logs. So we have this log that, this tree that just fell apparently last year, maybe a year before, came down. As you go through here, I've passed like 1,000 down logs anymore. And if you want to know why Yakima never had fires in the decades when I grew up in Yakima, it's because they take the dead trees out of here. If you don't take them out and a fire comes through here, that's why it gets so hot and it burns these older growth trees. So maybe they'll fix that. But yeah, one thing, the trail is pretty easy, but you are going to cross logs. Okay, this is kind of cool, but you want to keep moving. That is an anthill, and they are just squirming around. Don't camp by one of those. Right, doggies? So pretty. So that's the American River. It's just as pretty as its name. And it's a great place for a hydration station. Lots of fish in there, but no people today. And that's okay. That's one of the great things about hiking here in Yakima County. You just rarely have crowds. Okay, we're gonna call it quits here on this episode of Yakima is Cool Hikes and Horses. I hope you liked it. I hope you've been subscribing. It's really important that you do. Doesn't cost you anything. It just gets more people watching with however those analytics work. I'm not doing a lot of analytics today out here in the woods, but yeah, this is the Pleasant Valley hike. It goes on for miles. William O. Douglas Forest here off Chinook Pass, about 50 miles from Yakima. You won't find anything better or anything cooler. And we'll see you on the next episode of Yakima is Cool.